G'day everyone, I'm Dave. Thank you for joining me. So today I am going to be covering in detail how your business can use AI to take advantage of what you could do before AI came along efficiently. Now I'm going to show lots of examples of my actual work and prove to you how important this is. I'll also talk about how much money is now being invested in data centers, and also I want to go into detail about the different ways you can actually use it and how powerful it is. Let's just start at the beginning, nice and simple. Most businesses have a website and a way to be contacted. Otherwise, you're not a very good business, let's face it. So if you have got an existing website, what I suggest is step one, with an existing website, people are no longer going to just be going to your website and clicking on things. As I've said in previous videos I've made, the future client, your future client, is other AI assistants or LLMs recommending your product to the user that is using the LLM to search for products, which is now becoming the majority of people that are using LLMs are searching. They're not going back to Google. They're not looking at Google anymore. They don't need to. They actually get the answer they want. So it's very, very important that you are part of the conversation. So imagine your business. You need to be the squeaky wheel in this new world. And as I've said before, video is fine for the moment, and video is great for explaining your product, but video ads are just going to become white noise. They can be produced by anybody in immense quality. I spin them out all the time. It takes an afternoon to make an ad, not even a couple of hours. So you can actually make some pretty effective advertising doing that. But that doesn't mean that you're going to attract new clients. The only way to attract new clients going forward really is to be recommended by an AI assistant, because the AI is going to filter out everything and tell you what you want to know and recommend your product. So you need to get started. All businesses are now officially dead. We are starting from ground zero. The world is not the same. Now we have AI, and there's no putting the genie back in the bottle, and there's no ignoring it. You can't ignore it any longer. So clients I've been working with are new to the area. They're the same as you guys out there. It's like, oh, how do I get started? What do I do? They take to it like a duck to water when they see how powerful it actually is. So we'll go down and let's have a look at a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. So for starters, we'll pop down here and we will have a look at a company, which is a yacht company. I'll put my little image over here. Okay, so Tasman Boats, right? So they've got a standard website that's got information, but to find out the information, you've got to click through. They now have an AI assistant. I can just ask the AI assistant, tell me about your products. Now, this does two things. Number one, it starts to get people interacting, and more people are, let me refresh the page, might help. Refresh the page. Try that again. All right. Tell me about your products. Okay, most people, they come to a site, they want information. If I was after a specific model or whatever I was after, I didn't know what's the best fishing boat, what's the best boat for deep sea diving or whatever, I can ask the AI assistant. I don't need to hunt through the information. This is a transformational change. So all the answers here are given and spat out in conversational form. So this is your first base. This is what you do to start your business trip down the road of AI. I highly recommend you have an AI assistant on your website, trained on your data, that through my system you can log in and you can make changes very simply. You can say, no, that one's sold out. No, this one will do, this one won't do. You can also feature your products, which I'll show shortly, depending on the amount of information you put in there. So there we've got the information there on that. There's another yachting company here. So we'll refresh that page as well. Pacifica Yachts. And again, we're talking high ticket items here. Same deal. Let's ask this a question. Tell me about the best yacht, and it doesn't matter, I'll spell it wrong, for fishing and open water. There we go. So we ask the AI assistant, instead of having to go through the website, find out the information. The AI assistant goes into the knowledge file that's trained on your data, and it retrieves an answer, and more importantly, it makes it conversational, so it can continue the conversation. You can have it show pictures, you can have it show video links, you can do all sorts of stuff. It's very simple, very powerful, is added to your existing website. So your existing website guy, or if it's you, or you've got a company doing it, I just supply the code, they actually upload the code, and then hey presto, here it is on your site, telling you all the information, what range, what speed, how fast it'll go, about the stable design. You're reading it as it's going. You're not searching, trying to find bits and pieces from a website. So that is number one, the starting point. What I suggest also is, these pop-ups are great, and you can see that they give the information really well. But what's even more important is where you position it as well, because what we're finding is when other AI assistants can come to your site, they can also access this data, and I'll go on about that in a bit. Just so, right. So it's given a lot of information there. That's a lot of information. The site owner receives an email of what you've typed, so they get all the information straight away. Now, the next way to do it, to display your AI assistant, if we look at what the British Carpet Company's done here, right? Instead of having a pop-up, what they've got is it front and center on their website. So front and center, you can ask, how much is a woven carpet for a room 5 meters by 10 meters? All right, there's a question. That won't be in the website, right? That will be there. You have to do the calculation. You have to find out what's going on. You've come to the website, or more importantly, an AI assistant has come to the website. And an AI assistant, like when you're using Comet browser or the browser on OpenAI, it will just type in the question. So it's now telling us what it would cost. At $100 a square metre, it would cost this. At $500 a square metre, it would cost that. You would not go to a website. You would have to work that information out, all right? Even questions like this, all right? What's this? Okay, we've got lots and lots. Would you like to see some images? Yes. Show me some images. Show me some images. Fantastic. It's getting me involved in the conversation. That is the key. It's conversational AI. Here are some images, right? Look at this. I've gone to the website. I'm not going click, click, click all over the place trying to find the information out. It's telling me the information in a very digestible and very conversational way. And as a human, I'm used to being spoken to in a conversational way. All right, let's see what it comes up with here. Okay, it's going to show you some. Oh, here we go. There's some images. Carpet on stairs. Fantastic. And you watch this, right? I'll start a new chat so I won't confuse it. I am at the Sutherland train station. How do I get to you? And are you open on Saturdays? Okay, there we go. So questions that aren't even on a website. You wouldn't, actually you might have a map. Okay, there's our Tarrant Point showroom. Here's we are, right? To get to the showroom, step-by-step instructions. Exit the train station. Take the first exit to Linden Street. It tells you how to get there. Now, admittedly, yes, you can use Google Maps, that's fine. But you're dealing with this company. You want to know what's going on. You know, are they going to be doing it? You can also contact us here. All right, fantastic. All right, yes, we're open on Saturdays. It's answered all my questions. Let's have a look at another site, and let's have a look at where I'm getting at now. So here's a site. This site is in Thailand. We can see here that the AI assistant is on the front page. There's lots of information, but here it is on the front page. So let's ask it some questions. I've prepared some earlier, so I don't need to type it in. Watch this. I'm going to type this question in English, right? Instead of me typing, I'm just going to copy it, and we'll go back into here, and we'll paste it in. And I'll use this as an example, and language is really important. So let's have a look here. So I can ask a question to an AI assistant in any language, and it will answer in that language. So in this case, I've asked in English. So same deal, instead of me going through, I can see water bikes there. I can, or the AI assistant that visits your site can come straight in and do this, because now the browsers are in effect like humans. They can click, they can go through, they can find the information out, and what are they going to do? Are they going to go click, click, click all through the site? No, they're not. They're going to find the fastest way to retrieve the information. So step one is literally have an AI assistant on your website. That is absolutely step one. Every website is going to need one of these because people will just not go to your site if you do not have one. All right, so there we've got some images, we've got some information. All right, so now let's try this. We'll try a new chat. And the reason I cut and paste this is because I have translated this to Thai. Let's have a look. We'll ask the same question, but in Thai. We'll copy that. Go back into here. Go back into here, and we'll ask our question in Thai. This could be in any language. It could be in Russian, German, French, you know that. So now, same deal. I've come to this website. I don't speak English, but I've got an AI assistant. Now, the world is opening up. Your markets now, with AI, you don't need to be scared about. If you've got a product that can go international, you are crazy if you do not use AI, because everyone else who's got products that go international will. And I'll back that argument up in just a second. All right, so it's answered the question in Thai. I'm still getting the images. Everything's coming through as it is, but it's all written in Thai. Right? This opens up the world to what goes on. You are no longer restricted to your primary language. Okay, so there we go. We've got some images. It's all written in Thai. Now, let's fast forward to a site that I have just done. Now, this site is, you may have seen it in a previous video, but I want to show you how powerful this is. So, just as with the Tasman boat site, that's got a pop-up assistant here, right? And with the yacht site, it's also got a pop-up assistant here. What we are going to do is we are going to position Lucy on their existing website. Now, their existing website is an e-commerce site. Everyone's got an e-commerce site, but if you've got an e-commerce site, you need this, and I'll show you why. This chat is just nothing that's going to give you information. It's literally a contact form, right? There's no information, there's no instant answers. It's basically a contact form. We are going to replace that with the all singing, all dancing, I am Lucy. Now, I'm going to ask Lucy a question here. I'll just refresh her. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to ask her, I am interested in blue coloured looking rug. We'll copy this, we'll paste this down into here. The reason I've copied and pasted it, I'm going to ask this to another assistant as well. So the first assistant is Lucy. So we'll go into here and I'm going to ask this question. And the question is, I'm interested in a blue coloured patchwork look rug. Can you show me and let me know where I can purchase and pricing sizes, etc. Now, because this will be on the site, once it's on the site, we won't need to have where I purchase because it's obvious where you purchase, because this AI assistant has been designed to sit on their sites. They have two sites and they're going to put one on each of their sites. Now, this AI assistant has been trained with pricing and it's also been trained with images, and will tell you information that relates exactly to what's going on in the site. So instead of having to go click, 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 you can ask it a question and it will produce the answer. All right, so here we go, blue colour patchwork. Now, what this does as well, not only does it produce the answer to the user on the site, it also publishes the information. And like I said, you want to be the squeaky wheel. All right, so let's have a look here. Patchwork, look, can you show me how I can purchase? So let's have a look here. There's a blue-grey rug, but let's just ask, show me some images, please. All right. So if I click on that link, well, that takes me exactly to where we need to go to purchase it, which will be within the site. So it will be replacing this one here. I'll just close that down for a minute. Okay, so we can ask it to show some images. We notice here that this site is also any phone numbers. If anyone puts anything up, the AI makes sure that there's nothing that can be bad that is then published, because this output is actually published to the web. These are questions that people are asking, and they go to another site that owns the conversation about rugs, and it actually outputs all this data and the images as well. So this should show us some images of the rugs in question with some further details. Okay, there we go. We have some images of, well, I was pretty general there. Show us some rugs. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of rugs. Okay, so it's got the ability to actually show the images as well. And I'm going to ask that same question to their other site. Now, this site has been set up to own the conversation. All the questions from Lucy and all the questions from Kate are published. So if we go here, we can actually see that question that we just asked on Kate, can you show me some images please, is straight away outputted to the outside world. And let's go and ask, we'll go and ask Kate a question here. Let's see what Kate's got to say. We'll go home, we'll ask exactly the same question. That's why I pasted it here. All right, copy that, and then we'll go back here and we'll ask the question. And exactly the same question, and we won't get links this time because it will just send us to the Deportier site. This is not the Deportier site. This is a general site on rugs. It's designed to be informative, it's designed to be found by LLMs, and it's designed to cite the information back to the main sponsor, which in your case will be your business. So if you sell handbags or whatever you sell, you own handbags. You should own handbags online now before someone else does. And then you create a site like this, it will send citations back to your main site where you have another AI assistant that is trained on your knowledge, because again, the people visiting your website will be humans for a little while, but soon they'll all be agents, because the agents will be reporting back and actually showing what's going on. So it's giving us some details, it's giving us some pricing, it's not giving us the exact link to where it's going to go because it's basically a general page, but there's a blue patched rug. All right, so we can actually do that. Now, let's go one step further. I've asked the same question here in German. Now, the reason that this is important is for the same reason that, let's go back to Kate here. Actually, no, we'll go back to Lucy and we'll do a new chat. So, if you've got a product like these rugs that can be sold internationally, right, you are crazy if you do not use AI assistants, because you can't hire staff that can speak 127 or 128 languages or whatever there is. It's probably 1,000 languages in the world. But the main languages can just ask exactly the same question. The output will always come back in the format that the question was asked. So if it was asked in Russian, it will answer in Russian. If it was asked in French, it will answer in French. And more importantly, the output page, which is the noise, which is the conversation that your company is making, is outputted. This is super crucial in this age, because the only way to get found in the future is really to be cited by an LLM. Even now with Google, they've got their AI answers. Everyone is really starting to migrate. They're not typing in one-word questions anymore. Want a rug? You know, they're being more detailed. So we can see here the answer is coming out in German. So the user is happy because they're getting their answer in German. They don't need to look through the website. There's an image of the rug. There's a link to where you need to purchase it. And there it's all written in German. Now, why is this important? The reason this is important is because if you have a business, look at this. Have a look.
Using them in the earbuds instead. And then the most interesting thing to me, at least, is live translation. So if you and someone else who speaks a different language from you are both wearing these new AirPods Pro 3, you can speak in your native languages, and then through artificial intelligence, it'll automatically translate. But if you're speaking to someone who doesn't have AirPods, the translation for them will show up on the screen of your iPhone so they can read your translation right there. So that's something pretty interesting.
Okay, the reason that is important is Meta are also releasing glasses. There's a whole stack of products now that are going to involve translation. The old Babel fish, that's what it is for people that used to watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So translation now is not an issue. AI has taken care of that, right? So what you need to do is, if you have a product that is available everywhere and you want to tap another market, this is a no-brainer, right? Because even if someone calls you from France, you can use your phone translation to talk to them, right? Okay, you could always done it jilted with emails backwards and forwards or whatever. Now just get on the blower, get on and call them, right? They can ask their questions in any language. Your product is coming out in their language. Number one, there it is. You've opened up a new market. This is the world we're going into, guys, right? So another thing that we need to be really, really interested in, right, is people say, oh, there's this AI bubble. It is not a bubble, right? I was there at the supposed bubble of the web, right? I was around in 97, 98 when I started, and there was a bubble, but it was only built on a technology that was just starting to evolve. And yes, the internet is a communication technology, but it's not a commodity like electricity or like AI. It's not a multi-purpose technology. Now, the multi-purpose technology is so powerful, the infrastructure that is being built. Stargate, 9 months ago, they announced, OpenAI, remember Mr. Trump got up, and the guy from Oracle, and they basically said, okay, we're going to spend $500 billion on a data center. Have a look at this. This is quite amazing.
Thank you. I am here at Nvidia headquarters in Santa Clara with the CEO of the world's most valuable company and the CEO and president of the world's most valuable private company, Jensen Huang of Nvidia, Sam Altman, and Greg Brockman of OpenAI. So let's dive right in to the news. Jensen, Nvidia is making a $100 billion investment in OpenAI and working together to build out, I think you're saying 10 gigawatts of capacity over several years. The investment's going to come with the gigawatts, one at a time. You're telling me, you guys, as quickly as you guys can get it done. Jensen, first of all, set the stage. Why?
This is the biggest AI infrastructure project in history. This is the largest computing project in history. Well, the reason for that is because computing demand is going through the roof for OpenAI. You know, ChatGPT is the single most revolutionary AI project in history. It's being used everywhere, every industry, every country. Every person practically that I know uses ChatGPT. The computing demand is going through the roof. And so this partnership is about building an AI infrastructure that enables AI to go from the labs into the world. This is about the AI industrial revolution arriving.
Yeah.
It's a very big deal.
$100 billion, a lot of money. Sam, Greg, you guys are used to dealing with a lot of money in big projects. So Sam, I think it was just 8 months and a day ago, the initial Stargate announcement talking about the overall move that OpenAI is making in building out this capacity. Where does this fit?
So as Jensen said, building this infrastructure is critical to everything we want to do. Without doing this, we cannot deliver the services people want. We can't keep making better models. And now that we really see what's on the near-term horizon of how good the models are getting, the new use cases that are being enabled, what people want to do, this is like the fuel that we need to drive improvement, to drive better models, to drive revenue, everything. So this is helping us get to a world, along with our partners at Stargate, Microsoft, Oracle, where we can build out increasing amounts of infrastructure to deliver on what the world is demanding out of these services. There's like no partner but Nvidia that could do this at this kind of scale, this kind of speed. It's really like quite incredible. But this will expand on the Stargate ambitions and let us push further and further. We have found every step along the way that we did not quite set our sights big enough, given the market demand. So this will help us push towards that next level. The compute constraints that the whole industry has been, and our company in particular, have been terrible. We're so limited right now in the services we can offer. There's so much more demand than what we can do. And as we look forward another year or 2 years, if you have, let's say it takes 10 gigawatts of compute or 5 gigawatts of compute, you could choose one of two things. You could choose to cure cancer by having AI do a bunch of research, or you could choose to offer free education to everybody on Earth. No one wants to make that choice. And so increasingly as we see this, the answer is just much more capacity so that we can serve the massive needs and opportunity with this.
Greg, one way of measuring that demand is the number of users that OpenAI has. ChatGPT says somewhere between 700 and 800 million. How quickly are you?
Okay. So, just on that, to round out my argument, this is not a bubble. A bubble might be the stock market, people speculating on this and that and everything else. That's a bubble. The actual infrastructure is being built. AI is amazing today. Those who understand AI today are the ones that will survive. The ones that don't will not. The jobs and earning wages in the future, you are not going to be able to just have a job, right? Because most of those jobs will be changed in some way. So if you're in business, you're already an entrepreneur. To be an entrepreneur, you need to increase your game to stay in. There's really going to be, if this all plays out, jobs that will go, and there'll have to be some sort of, social universal basic income, or you go into a business, right? Now, I'm not saying that all wages will go, but it'll probably halve over the next 10 years. So, the thought of just getting a job like you did, in the 90s or the 2000s, even now, will change radically. So you need to understand how AI is. Now, if they're investing this amount of money in the infrastructure, it is only going to get better and better and better. And like Sam Altman said, these are big things. This is a general purpose technology. It can solve cancer. It can probably cure climate change, right? We can't do it as humans. We can't think anywhere near what the AI can think, right? So this is not going anywhere. This is not a fad. I have people say to me, oh yeah, no, it's just a fad. I don't need it. I don't need to change my website. I don't need it. You do. I'm telling you now, you do, okay? So what I suggest, going back down to here, number one, first thing you need is you need to get an AI assistant on your website. They're not expensive. About a cup of coffee a day, over a year. That's all it costs, right? You need that. That can be retrofitted to your existing site. Number two, you really need to own the conversation. You need to look at the field that you are in, whatever that field is, and dominate that field. You need to be in the top 10% of that field if you are going to survive, or very close to that. Because other people that know about buying intelligence and creating this will skyrocket above you. Not crawl up, we're talking 10x, 20x, 50x productivity, right? You can't compete against that, right? I'm not fear-mongering, this is happening right now. The money is being spent right now. The technology for translation is right now. Do you think companies are going to go, oh, I'd love to be able to sell my product in France or in Germany or in Europe or wherever, Africa, but I don't speak African, right? That doesn't matter. That's not a barrier anymore. That barrier is not there. Language is solved. Conversation is solved. Then you go, oh, okay, how am I going to advertise my company? I'll go to Google. Well, wait there. I'm paying all this money and no one's clicking on my thing. That's because you don't own the conversation. You can't just chuck money at it anymore. You need to be the squeaky wheel. Your business needs. Why not use all your conversations, all the information about your business? We use AI to clean it up so you don't get swear words and bad comments or whatever. You can control the conversation, but the conversation has to be out there. If you're not out there, you're not going to get found, right? It's just as simple as that. Now, even if OpenAI, Perplexity, Google will have some charge for advertising, you will be able to onboard somehow. It's not like before where it's a closed environment. They will tailor the questions to each person. Each answer will be different. There is no one size fits all anymore. You need to be out there. You need to own the conversation. You need to understand AI and how it works with your business. So please feel free, contact me. I'm happy to talk. I talk a lot, as you can see. And I have a solution for your business, and my solution is working very well. People are very happy with the amount of control, and hopefully I've illustrated to you how you need to take advantage of this. And if you don't, complacency will get you nowhere, right? Except on the universal basic income because you haven't got a job, right? Okay, thanks for your time again. I look forward to catching you in the next one. Thanks.